All right. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Uh, Thanks for taking out your valuable time to come over here to have this interesting workshop, which is all about how to utilize the AI, artificial intelligence, in conducting literature review. So this would be the last event for the research week. You know, the research week is going on. So what I'll do is I'll quickly cover some of the softwares from the application point of view. I don't know how this generative AI works. I'm not from that side, but I will show you how we can utilize this application. So during this workshop, I'll show you some of the tools which I'm using it, and probably if you use it, it would be great. I'll cover some of the softwares which are available. Some features are free, some features are paid, but even that paid is not really too much. If you compare it with some other food items, it's still very cheap. What the thing I will not cover in this workshop is ethics. So I'm not going to expect, or I'm not going to answer any of the question which is like, should we use it or shouldn't we use it? I'm just going to tell you the existing technology, how the people are using those existing technology, and not only few people, not only 1,000 or 100, millions and millions of people are using this technology. All scientists, students, postgraduate student, undergraduate student, they are using it. So I will not cover that part. For ethics, maybe some other time. So this is the image which I generated from the AI, and we are covering, you can see that if we have a text and we can give some text, it can generate the AI. So it can generate from zero, from nothing. So that's the very interesting thing, and it was there for a long time. It was there for some other names like machine learning, this and that. Now it is transformed, and the more common name is artificial intelligence. If you look at it closely, then probably you look at the hand. So when it draw the hand, it doesn't draw it very properly. Okay, there's some errors in it. So this is a very good representation of the AI. So you can see it generate all the scene. I gave it that somebody in Saudi Arabia is telling about conducting literature review using artificial intelligence, and it creates a scene out of it. But as you can see that there are some mistakes in the hand, in the picture. So there may be few mistakes in text as well. So we are going to work on the literature review, which is all about text and text and text. So there is a possibility that there may be some errors, okay, where your human intelligence will intervene and modify it. So if you buy this altogether, maybe it's not a good decision for our generation. Maybe the future human, it will evolve too much that we don't need to review it. But till today's date, we need to review it, whatever it is generated. So this is just one example, just to give you that, yes, there is some error possible. Before I jump to the software, I just want to, quickly, because there are some students as well, and why we perform the literature review. So basically, it's the expansion of our knowledge base. So whatever is the knowledge, we want to do, okay, somebody else has already done it, or what? For example, mostly in undergrad presentation, the student come and say, oh, this is the first time our group has done it. And then you Google it, even in the free Google search, you'll see like people have done it 10 times, 20 years before. So the literature review is just to update our knowledge so that we know what the other people have done it, to understand what is already existing. And then once we know what is existing, then we can go towards the novelty, then we go towards increment of the knowledge. Eureka is a term which was used. Then the people discover something, they say Eureka or something like this. So how you can say Eureka unless you don't know what is already exists? So it has been accomplished already or not. So we need to check it through literature review, connecting with the existing set of knowledge. Whatever the results we got it, does they make any sense or not? So also we need to perform literature review for that purpose. And also if you want to work on some area, you need to find out the research gap, some particular area which is missing, and you want to put your efforts, energy into it. When it comes to the literature review, there is a huge spectrum of the way the literature review can be performed. In every research paper, there is a part of literature review in it under introduction. In every thesis, there is a chapter which is literature review. In any report, scientific report, there is a part of it which talks about literature review. So it's a backbone of everything. So in this spectrum, there is a narrative base in which you tell like a guy who's working for 30 year, 40 year in certain field, certain aspect, and then he narrates, okay, this happened, and in first decade that happened. So they can tell you. So mostly very experienced people do the traditional narrative literature review, and the journals usually do not accept it unless they invite those distinguished people, professors, scientists, engineers, to come and write for that. And on the other hand side, there is a complete meta-analysis review. The meta-analysis review is just a statistical marvel of the existing data. So there is with every file, there is a metadata. Even if you take a picture from your mobile, there is a metadata attached to it. So what the statistical or quantitative analysis performed is just go into that metadata, do some sort of a statistical analysis, and give you some review. In between of it, there is some systematic literature review, other sort of reviews. Okay, this is one of the example of the metadata from my paper, which was published in 2022. So what we did is we download a huge set of data from Scopus, okay, with the Scopus login and password. You need to have that. You cannot download it from the free account. And once we get all the data, we did this sort of different analysis because it was a review paper about nanomaterial use in biogas to produce biohydrogen or biofuel, basically. So this analysis will give you a demographic representation of it. For example, you can see the most research is going on in China, next to is USA and some other countries. And then it can also give you some idea where the people are working and what is the link in between. For example, you can see the line between China and India is very thick. So the thicker the line, it means more work has been done in between these two countries. The people are responding with each other and things like that. This is just a metadata. What is inside it? Not only the demography, you can also perform it for further, like what kind of techniques these people are using. So we divided, because we download a huge set of data from 1970 to 2020. It was published in 2022, but the paper was almost ready in 2021. The publication process is very slow, and it took some time. So in that period, it's roughly maybe 40 years or something like that. Then we look at how the people are used, what terms people are used. Okay, because with every passing year, there are some new techniques come and some new techniques applied to generate the same thing. So we look at, okay, anaerobic digestion, which is one of the way of producing it, how much the people are using it. And then we switch it just for last 3 years. And you can see this anaerobic digestion is really something which people are using as one of the major technique in using it. So we can tell by this meta-analysis to the future people how they can go in which direction they can go. This analysis is not really very complex. It's very easy. For this particular image, we use a VOS viewer, which is freely available download. All you need is to download the data. And then you need some set of skills and some patience as well, because the data is very huge. So sometimes the computers hang and all these things. So this metadata analysis will give you. But till now, what I have showed you, there's nothing AI. All we did is download the database, process the database manually, and then the software does it graphically. Now, what we are going to do is, from here, there are no more slides. So I'm going to talk about a software which is R Discovery, which is basically used to discover papers. This is one of my favorite software. That's why I put it on the first part, because this is one of the few software which is available on computer as well as on your mobile. It can also generate few things, which we'll talk about it when I show you. Then we'll talk about the Research Rabbit. There are many softwares now available which can do this thing. For example, Illicit, Paper ID. There are many names in it. This Research Rabbit is free, okay? So you can use it. What it will do is the way I showed you the metadata linking, it will perform the metadata by itself and give you some relevancy of the connection between the papers. Then we'll go to the SciSpace, and I'm very upset because few months back, it was free, and I saw their owners, CEOs, YouTube video, and they say, we want to make it free for all researchers. And when I was preparing for this workshop, I saw it, they put some money on it. But anyway, still the free version can do many things. Then of course, if it is AI, then we need to talk about ChatGPT. ChatGPT is for journal audience. It's not specifically for researchers. So we can see how we can use the ChatGPT. I'll not talk about ChatGPT a lot, but we'll move to something which is called consensus. This is a very interesting software, AI based, and do this thing. So if you have any question, because it's a live demonstration, my experience with the live demonstration, it can go bad at any point of time. Just like if you remember the Tesla, they throw the stone on the live demonstration, it broke the glass. But anyway, I'll try to do it live as well and take questions and see how quickly, without having a prior knowledge of that topic, we can come up with some information. And last but not the least, once we recover some data, do some data, then it's all about writing, communication, written communication. So even in Abbott, this is one of the SO is about communication. So you need to know about this, how to communicate, whatever you saw it, whatever you know it, whatever you calculated, how you communicate with the people. So because we are just focusing on literature review part, so we don't go talking about how to discuss results, how to present results, not that part, only the literature review today. So I'll show you the Jenni.ai, and if you don't see it before, then it's really a Jenni. All right, any question at this point? Nothing? All right. Okay, we'll go to the, okay, I'll close all of them. Okay, let's start with the first one, which is our discovery. Okay, this is owned by some other software as well. Most of this AI software, they change their names as well with certain period of time. I don't know what is the legal reason behind it. Maybe they sell it to another company or something like that. So this R discovery is also researcher.life. So this is how it looks like. They have an app as well. You can download this app in your mobile phone, either it's iPhone or Android. It works in both cases. What it can do is, it can, if you have a paid version, otherwise only 5 papers, it can turn your PDF into audio. So you probably, while walking, driving, or sitting, you can hear the whole research paper or something like that. Okay, they have millions and millions of people and things like this. So what you can do is, you can define your area of interest. Okay, so for example, all right, so you can see it over here that I defined these topics. You can subdefine it into different areas. So for example, I say, because I'm working mostly in structures or in biogas, so I defined the structure mechanism, and I said this is very important. Anaerobic digestion, because in biogas also there is a huge waste management area, so we are working on a very small area. This is very important. And then some other interest as well, like aerospace, mechanism, moderately. When you save these topics, keywords, metadata, it will start giving you the relevant papers. So what is it different from Google Scholar and this? The thing is, once you define it, it keeps updating itself all the time, day to day. Every day in your mobile, you get some, or you can read this paper. This is according to your, the more and more you go into it, and then more and more. And then you can see this like button over here as well. So this like button is very important for AI, because AI is like a child. It's just growing. When you like it, you say, oh, kudos, yeah, this is a good paper. This is, I want you to bring it back next time better than this. You click the like button, it will bring more, it will go into that direction. Okay. So it will give you the papers. You can see them. Most of the papers are now available in open access domain. So you can see the paper. If not, then at least you can see the abstract and the paper. You can save it in our discovery software, or you can take this citation out of it as well. Okay. It keeps on doing it. Every week, it will send you a summary of the papers as well in your email. Every single day, it will send you some messages on your mobile. You can scroll it, you can quickly read them, rather than your friend sending message on WhatsApp, stupid memes. It's better to have a paper to quickly review it and see, so you can update yourself on the go. Okay, this is one of the software. Probably you don't appreciate it a lot. Then we'll go to the next one, which is Research Rabbit. So what is the purpose of the Research Rabbit? It will connect the two papers. What the R is doing is basically it will give you this paper is available, this is of your interest, but it doesn't merge two papers, two different papers, 3, 4, 5 different papers to bring you inside of it. Okay, so we have a solution for it as well. Research Rabbit is very interesting and it's free. What it does is you need to give some information to it, and then it starts performing a very interesting sort of review. The university internet is very slow these days, so it will take some time. Otherwise, they are very fast. So what it does is I'll give it some keywords, and it will start building around it. So we need to give a seed words. Okay. So it will, from the seed words, it will start building around your more information. Waiting from youtube.com. Why? All right. So do I have to? So just like the VOS viewer, I showed you some picture. It can produce graphical linking of the papers, which is really very important. Maybe I need your internet. So okay, it's here. So okay, let's say I give it something like biogas. Just this is just a name. Okay, and then we need to give it some seed papers. So based on this, I say anaerobic digestion. Okay, biohydrogen, or else I'm aware that there are few papers. I can give those papers to it, and then it start processing the data. Okay, let's say I add these papers. Yeah, should do like click and it should be added, but all right, they all are added. Let's add few more papers, some old papers as well. Because in literature review, we need to cover recent as well as the old paper, but not to like something 1960s, unless you're working in very specific domain. Okay, I think that much is enough. So these are the papers. They got it. Now the magic will come. Now the AI will come. It's processing behind the scene, but similar work of that set of combination which I choose it. When I click it, it will give you the similar work, and not only it will give you the linkage. Now you can see how these works are linked with each other. So the Google Scholar can give you one paper each time. It can never link. And all these softwares, AI or otherwise, they require a huge amount of money to find out linkage. 40% of my PhD was doing this thing manually. Reading paper and find out what is the link between this and that, who did what, and things like that. So if you do it by software, I don't know about other people's PhD degree, but I can give you 40% of my degree to you as an honorary degree. So this is so powerful. You can see it over here. There are some green color and some blue color. The green colors are which are already in our database. There may be some which are, for example, this paper links almost to all papers. So it is probably one of the very initial paper, which we unable to find out unless we read it. Okay, and these days reading is not so common. Okay, so what I can do is I can add this paper.
It will also give the most important one.
Yes, it will also give the most important thing. Then, for example, these two papers which we added, not showing any link. This is 2016 paper, and this one is 2020 paper. Show no link. So it's probably somebody gave a very nice idea or something, but nobody is buying that idea. Okay, or maybe a very unique idea, nobody yet touched it. So we can exclude those papers and bring those. Okay, this is a similar work. If I want to find out earlier than these people, what the people are doing it, some ideas are groundbreaking, there is no earlier work available, some ideas are not. Okay, so it do some calculations and it can show, okay, this is how it links with the earlier work. So your life is pretty easy if you do this thing. How the AI is doing it, it takes all the data, the metadata, the title, the keywords, what you have written in abstract, and this. So as a researcher, we need to understand this current thing, which is SEO, search engine optimization. So this is very important. That's why the keyword is very important. Recently, I learned from the SEO point of view that whatever words you use it in your title, don't use it in your keywords. Before that, what I do is, for example, something is like biogas. So one of my keyword is biogas. If it is biomass, one of the keyword is biomass as well.
Why is that?
Because it is repetition of it. You utilize a very precious space in repeating those words. So when the search engine, somebody will search it biogas. So if somebody searching biogas plus something, so I should write plus something in the keyword. So it will get a higher chance to appear in the research, and then it's higher chance to cite it, and people will take it, and so on. All right, so this is earlier work, and now you probably appreciate, you can see the later work as well. It is in it as well, it's graphically as well, you can do it from timeline as well. So who published who, when, who are the leaders, who are the followers, and so on and so forth. You can also see what these authors do it. So you can see there is a cluster of people who are working together, then there is a cluster of people working together, there is a cluster of people working together. These two guys are, you can see the thicker line, it means they are doing more, and so on and so forth. So once you do this thing, I recommended everybody to read one paper and put all the information in an Excel sheet, like who, what is the conclusion, what is this. So all the people, all the students who are working with me, they have their Excel sheets. And we analyze every time Excel sheet, we read the paper again, we notice something new, we put it into the Excel sheet. But we don't know the linkage between it. So this can provide you the linkage as well. Do you find it interesting or not? Yes. Sorry?
We don't have a seat paper.
Yeah, you can start with one of the paper. Okay.
So we don't have it. just keywords.
Yeah, you can do with the keywords as well. Because you see when I was trying to add few things, it gives me.
But it prompts you for your favorite paper. Can you leave that blank?
No, what you can do is you can put 2 or 3 keywords, you get some papers. You do graphical analysis, you see these papers are not linked with anyone. It means their citation is very low. So you remove those papers and add other papers. Okay, and then you can build on it, and you can go to by this repetitive process, you will reach to a point where you get the most relevant literature. Up till now, we did not read any of the paper. Okay, so we are just trying to find out which one is
You
important.
started with the title.
Yes.
You don't have a title. Completely new topic. The student who is working on something, he knows nothing about it, and he does not have a title paper. Can he start with simple keywords?
Yes, they can. For example, let's say I call it test. Okay, and we go over here, add papers. So you can do the title, you can do DOI, you can put PIDM, you can, I don't want to go into this thing, but you can RIS file, RIS file, you can upload the RIS file, which is the export version of Zotero or EndNote, which are citation softwares, which we are not covering today. Or BibTeX, you can generate these RIS and BibTeX from the Google Scholar as well, only the relevant papers. Or you can give only the keywords. I want to go on a star, so yeah, something aerospace or some keywords, and then you start following it.
How do you know what is the difference between the
Mm-hmm. What is the?
For example, the same authors are linked together. How do you know what is the link? Maybe the link is.
Yeah, they may be the co-author, they may be citing each other, they may be doing something else with each other, they are cooperating, they may be belong to the same group, the group is working, and so on and so on.
Since it's paper, so it might be citations or co-authors.
Usually it's keywords, co-authors, affiliations, all metadata. It merges all metadata and then go with it. Okay, and then you can click on any of the paper, and this story will reach again, published paper, and so this canvas is infinite. You can go further and further and further to do this thing, so unless you reach to a point. Yes, you can view the paper, but if it is in open access, then you can. Yeah, if it is open access, it's free to use, everyone. If it is behind the paywall, you need to get a password like Saudi Digital Library password or something to access it.
You can also search the name of authors.
Yeah. So you can do it. Yeah, there are many other techniques as well. I'm just showing you the workflow and what kind of information you can take it. But these softwares are not just to that what I'm showing. They are much deeper, much more capable to it, and they are. I choose it from like each category. There may be 8 or 10 softwares. Okay, even for this Research Rabbit, there are many similar softwares like this. All right. So we did something, we find out something, now we linked some papers, we go to the next level in our literature review, and this time it is SciSpace. Okay, now we are going to see SciSpace until 2024. Their name is Typoset. As I said, in AI softwares, they keep on changing names for some reasons. All right. So SciSpace is beyond imagination AI. Why? For example, let's say, okay, I used this example earlier on in one of the course. So producing hydrocarbon fuel from plastic waste, techno-economic analysis, which means that you cover the technical side as well as you see this economically viable process or not. Okay, we click on just one idea, title, sentence or something, and then the magic should happen. if the internet is working good. All right. So the magic happens there. This is mind blowing. What it does is it gets a paper, top 5 paper, based on that title. You can give the paper as well. You can. So right now I'm telling you the most easiest way to follow it, but you can come up with some with no prior information, knowledge. We get some information. The techno-economic analysis of producing hydrocarbon fuel from plastic waste involves evaluating the feasibility and cost effectiveness processes like pyrolysis, gasification. Studies have shown there's some values. The yielding around 36 mass and 46% of the energy. Yielding means how much you convert it to that. Okay, so it gets some paper. How many? 10 papers. Okay, it gives you the insight. Till now, we did not open the PDF. Till now, even if it is open access or behind the paywall, we did not open the PDF till now. So that's amazing. It's like, for example, I read a paper, I understand something, I go to one of my fellow colleague or peer or faculty member, and I try to explain him, or oh, I read a paper, this happened, that happened, they use this technique, they use this technology, they find out this, and their yield is just like a human. So I put the human effort, and then I told to my fellow colleague, here, that human is gone. It's replaced by, so it gives you the insight. Then it gives you everything, almost it. Okay, so let me just one by one. TLDR. Do you know what is TLDR? It's a term which is used, which is called too long, don't read. So in corporate world, if you write an email like 2 pages, just want to get a cup of cake, then it's a wastage of. So TLDR is a term which is used in many AI softwares as well. There are some plugins in your Zoom meeting as well, TLDR. It will hear all your Zoom meetings, and at the end it will make a notes, it will give you TLDR. TLDR means too long, don't read. This is the crux of it. So this is the crux of that paper. In this paper, economic and feasibility assessment was performed for plastic pyrolysis, followed by hydrogenation to upgrade the software using S Pen plus software, something. We did not open the PDF till now. It gives the insight, TLDR, insight, TLDR. Next. Okay, what is the conclusion by the authors? The minimum selling price, because it's techno-economic analysis, so there's of course some money involved in their paper calculations, 0.6 per gallon. All right, just without opening it. Can you please summarize the abstract? The abstract is there, abstract is open, all the paper abstract is available. But even without reading that 200 words or 400 words, the abstract is, they use the software, estimate the plant mass and energy balance, they perform some analysis. Okay, they do it. What is the result? The mass yield is 36% and the capital investment is 118. And not only one paper, we are just looking for one paper, there are 10 papers, there are more papers. All these summaries generated there and then in a single click, which is simply mind-blowing, outstanding. And then you can do the summarize the introduction, what methods they have used, what literature survey they've used, and the critical thing is limitation. Is there any limitations in this paper? There's some people did not mention, some papers did not mention. So yeah, there is a limitation. The simulation assumed processing 1,000 dry metric ton of plastic waste per day. So the limitation of this paper, this result, this conclusion is everything was dry. If you have a wet on or some liquid on the plastic, some water on the plastic, some oil on the plastic, then things will change. So that's the limitation of that study. As I said before, we did not open the paper till now, and we get this to the point thing. And not only one paper, more paper. Okay.
How many papers can you generate without charge?
I think you can do many, because before that it was free. They recently just introduced the pricing. So till now, I did not see what is the difference between the pricing thing and non-pricing thing. What is the practical implication of this research, or is this just a theoretical? Yeah, this is the practical implication of this in terms of it. It's still, you said, oh, this software is give me so much information, but not what I need to know. So what you can do, you can talk to the PDF, how to do it, Copilot. Okay. So what's the Copilot? It's owned by Microsoft. Okay, it's a competitor of ChatGPT. Okay, and it can, till now it's free. I don't know how long. So any question like what is the maximum? What is the maximum efficient? No, yield, because this is basically technical term for it. Yield to convert plastic waste into fuel. Okay, the problem with the AI is that you need to be very good in your spellings. Okay, this is not your teacher over here who can still check the exam copy with wrong spellings. Okay, do something. Yeah. All right. The maximum efficiency report. So it's not one paper, it's not two paper. It's based on the multiple paper. They find out 36% mass yield and 42% in terms of the energy, which is, I think 36% is very huge. You have a 3600 plastic bottles, 36% of that is converted into fuel. A good conversion, not bad. In terms of the energy, 42%, which means the energy you give it and then convert it, and which is also very good.
I know from which paper this point is taken.
Yes, you can do it. You can talk to the individual PDF as well. But right now we are looking at the whole topic. Yeah, you can. We have some more things to. Right now we are just updating ourselves. Then when it comes to the writing, then we'll cover it. And I ask only this thing, maybe this part is enough, but it will give me other comparison with other processes as well. If you change the process, if you do this thing. Again, the feedback is very important, because AI is like a child. If you say, oh, kudos, what a brilliant answer you gave it to me, it will give you better answer next time, but in same direction. Maybe I'm saying few things technically wrong, but Dr. Adil can change it. Two? Yeah, references are there already. So this information is taken by these top 5 papers, and you can see the references are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these questions which I'm answering, they give you the reference as well.
I asked any question. Maybe there's some mistake or there maybe.
No, not in this application, because it's believed that you know you can type something. So what you can do is you can type in Word, make the correction, and then come over here. Or you can use another AI software for correcting your spellings and grammar. Then, yeah, this is, I told you earlier on, I showed you a picture, there was a problem in the hand. So there may be some information. That's, you need to do it. You collect the information and then still you need to review it.
Maybe if the summary produced by the Copilot is actually wrong.
It can be, yes, of course.
Check, oh, not at the 6%, it's actually 3%.
Sometimes we publish paper, it reviewed by experts, and then it's published, and it's still there's some part of information missed and wrongly quoted or something like that. So just like AI can also do that mistake too. Okay, So we left with, okay, over here, there are many other functions as well. You can do Copilot, you can do the citation generation. For example, you read some text which you asked that this is the statement, I need a citation for that statement. Reverse engineering. So it can do that as well. It can rephrase your thing as well. For example, you generate from AI, and then many things it can. Or you can use it on the ChatGPT as well. Okay, so you come over here, and I know most of you know how to use the ChatGPT, and you can perform, you can give the same questions to over here. If you don't like Copilot question, but first you need to tell the ChatGPT what you are doing. Most of the people, when they use the ChatGPT, they probably don't know that you can make a profile in the ChatGPT, even in the free version. What is a profile? For example, I'm a blogger or vlogger on YouTube, and I travel around. So I need to tell the ChatGPT, I'm a blogger, I do this thing, I'm a many follower, I talk about places and food. So when the ChatGPT writes something, it keeps in mind that you are writing for something, some guy who is a blogger, who talks about food and all these things. So it generates the data relevant to it. So if you do this thing, I'm a student, undergraduate student in engineering, and then ask something related to the science and engineering, it will understand that you are an undergraduate student. It will answer you according to your level. So most of the time I say, I'm a professor, expert in this, expert. So it raises the level of it to generate. Or else you can add, this is the paid version of the ChatGPT, thanks to Dr. Asim. So you can see over here, you can do this thing, or you can, oh, how I can edit it. All right, I can make a new one, but that's not the point to make a profile. I'm just telling you can make a profile over here. SciSpace, you can ask the question that the things which you think the Copilot is not working, you can upload the PDF, particular PDF, and then ask it, or you can upload particular PDF in SciSpace and then ask it over there from the Copilot, or you can compare. If you, this is a very bad habit, but if you want, you can compare what the Copilot is saying and what the ChatGPT is saying, and then you can merge that. All right, so we reached to the second last software that can also help you in this, which is Consensus. All right, I like Consensus a lot because it goes into the research paper and directly gives the conclusionary reply, which even if you ask me something like that, it's very difficult unless we read like hundreds of papers and then conclude. So, for example, recently I asked a question. Okay, where is my login? Okay. Okay, yeah. Does carnitine help build muscles? You see this. So answers like in consensus means everyone is agreeing on something. In journal, consensus means that should we go on a picnic today? Yeah, we need to have a consensus. If majority is saying it, we have a consensus. That's the literally meaning of it. So it summarizes something that this thing, tritine or carnitine or tritine, it's like a whey powder or something. Creatine, yeah. So is it good? Is it bad? Yeah. Before using it, you can do some consensus analysis. It will go into the research, not something which is mentioned on BBC or some other technical, non-technical website. And based on this, it says, yeah, yes, 80% people, researchers say, yes, it's very good, and yeah, there may be some side effects. 20% thinks that, yeah, it may be good or bad, but the food you eat is basically have the food you usually have it. They also have this thing, and nobody thinks that it's no. Based on the top 5, 10 papers, who select those papers? They selected by themselves because it's just a okay. You have the Copilot as well. It will give you further insight if you want to make your YouTube channel with the information about it. You can generate it from here and tell to the people how much informative you are. It can give you the conclusion. Okay, you can read the conclusion about any of the topic which you, and it can go from the individual websites as well. Oh, sorry, individual papers as well, and give you some information. So this is interesting. In the ChatGPT also you can have a consensus, but the problem in the ChatGPT, it will not give you this sort of percentages, but still it can answer all your questions. So as always we say in science, the question is important, not the answer. When the apple falls on a guy whose name was Newton, he did not eat it and sleep again. He questioned it, why it falls downward, not upward. And so the questions are very, if you can come up with a very good question, now there are many tools available which may try to answer, may not be able to answer completely what you are looking for. Okay, so we have 12 minutes left, and then we go to the last software, which is, its name is Jenni. Okay, and it's really Jenni. So if you buy it, you can buy it for $12 per month. But if you buy it from Saudi Arabia, they will give you the 50% discount. So it will cost you $6 per month if you pay whole year. And then there is some codes as well. If you put that code, it will give you further 20% of it. So in 216, you probably can get it for 1 year. All right, new document. So all right, let me do this. Okay, we'll write it again. Producing. This is again, you need to have the seed information. Producing fuel from plastic waste. The more information you give it, it's easier for it to search for you. Okay. There is a cartoon in which if you rub the something, the Jenni will come out. Okay. But yeah. So, but if you ask something, he said, well, "Tell me what to do." So you need to tell him what to do. Okay. He or she will not do it by him or herself. Producing from plastic waste, techno, economical. Okay, I write something like this. Okay, spelling mistake. Oh. See? Now it start writing. If you want to accept it, you accept it. And then start writing again. You want to accept it, accept it. If you want it to change, you say, okay, you write it something, but I think you need to improve its fluency. It's very robotic way. You don't want to rephrase it. It will rephrase it, and then you say, okay, put this version is better than the previous version. Also, you can rephrase it in different tones. So in technical writing, there are different tones available. Like for example, you want to sound more academically, or you want to sound like casually, like, or you want to sound like persuasively. You say this is must to do or something like that. Boldly, in a very, like you're convinced with the idea and you think that this is the right idea, or very friendly way of doing it. So all these AIs, they can generate this in different tones of it. So you can do this thing depending. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So you do just like this. Okay, because of the slow internet, it's right, the last process. Okay, it can cite it as well. So there was some option, yeah, cite. For example, we have this argument and we just want to know the citation of it. So whatever it writes, of course, it writes it from getting some information here, some information there, is bring you some of these citation, and depending upon it, you can accept which one you want to cite. So it gives you some freedom. All right, so these two were added to the citation. Not only added, this is the difference between the paid version and the free version. In the paid version, you can see the citation and you can change the citation styles as well. IEEE, which is numbered base, Harvard style, APA 7 or something. One of the most important thing over here is, yeah, one of the most important thing over here is that when you write it, you say, okay, I want to write an opposing argument. Opposing argument. Can you see this opposing argument at the bottom? This is the most important thing. It is the most important thing for me as well. If I write a paper, so we need to critically analyze something. So I can tell, oh, this guy has done this thing, A guy done this thing, B guy this, C guy. But what is a critical review of it? This is where we all struggle a lot, because that is something really very important. So I'll ask it, okay, opposing argument. You want to convert it into opposing argument? Okay, this internet is. Okay. So I can write opposing argument. Okay, this one is modified, write an introduction part, write a conclusion part. So it will write opposing argument as well, which is very critical. Okay, I accept it. Additionally, the high energy input required for pyrolysis and stringent operating condition may result in substantial carbon footprint. Yeah, so there is some negative aspect of it in pyrolysis. Okay, one of the universities doing it pyrolysis in Jeddah, they said that every time we run the experiment, next whole week, people complain that they have a smell in their offices because it's a very dirty process. So without knowing, this is not our area, without opening the PDFs, without reading hours and hours of it. So I think this is a gift for the young generation to do it. So, but as I said before, it can still do some mistakes. So you need to help it, because it's all these softwares are for your assistance, not really to replace you. Okay, I don't know, maybe future humans will be replaced by this, but till our life, this is going to evolve, but not going to replace. So don't worry about it. Yes, it can do the, most of these software, they can check the plagiarism as well. Yes, you can do the plagiarism as well, or else you can use the plagiarism software. For example, Turnitin. Okay, so you can create, but this is what my suggestion to you. Let the software help you. Let the software help you, assist you, and then you read your words. How much is your report usually is? 2,000 words, 1,500 words. How much the thesis maybe 20,000 words, 30,000 words. You are the author. You should read it, and you need to find out where is the mistakes and where is maybe the AI suggested wrong, or maybe you use the wrong keyword and then you get a different answer, and you change the keywords, you get a different answer. So this reviewing process is at your end.
It's similar to this question. Say, for example, you did your literature and everything. Now let's talk about the journal perspective. And when you do 17, whatever, similar to something. which they can check for AI generated text. From your experience, does the percentage look high usually for AI generated text, even if you do the rewarding, or it's acceptable level?
All right. For example, we have a discussion with Dr. Asim, and he told that some of the elsewhere journals, they give you a declaration. Did you use the AI in your submission time? And when you say yes, they say for what purpose, like improving English or something. That you say yeah. In the software, for example, Turnitin, it will give you plagiarism separately, and then it will give you the AI value separately. And then even in that AI, it says, I'm not sure. This seems like very high AI, but I'm not sure. This the software suggests. So in this case, this is my suggestion that if you copy paste the AI as it is, you will not learn anything. And I give this example 1,000 times. I'm going to give it now. For example, if you go to the gym and you ask the machine to do it, or you ask your friend to do it, will your muscles develop? Is there any chance, remote chance? So if you use the AI, writing some text for communication, email, report, anything, and you just copy paste it, you will never be able to develop your own skills. So this is my answer. The journals usually identify this thing, and sometimes they own declaration as well.
Most important is that when they like Elsevier, they say you can declare that I use ChatGPT software, but then you have to write I take responsibility for whatever it is. If it is wrong, if it is correct, if the reference, so it is only my responsibility.
Just one more thing. Recently, you saw some pictures in which the generative text is appeared in the very reputable journal, one of the leading journal of their areas. So that was a mistake of the editor. Of course, the blunder by the authors, but actually the mistake of the editor.
My question after you finish the presentation?
Yes, all done. All these softwares, and hopefully you probably can use all these softwares. There are citation softwares as well, but that's a totally different domain because I just want to, and you can see, for example, in Jenni, the citation is also generated. It can export to Zotero, Mendeley, which are free. You can use it and you can sync it with different devices.
I have a very quick question, and I have another question that you don't like.
Okay.
The quick question is, would you recommend any particular procedure, especially for the graduate students? You know, they have a particular topic, they are still new, they don't have much background in it. Would you recommend an order of these softwares that they should start with? This is the easy part. The difficult part, since yesterday I was asked, but you said don't ask me that question.
Yes, so, I said it in the start.
No, I'm going to ask this question because if you don't answer, maybe somebody here will answer. Really, what are the ethical aspects of using this? I know there are so many journals and so many universities. Unfortunately, we don't have guidelines on the use of AI platforms. For me in my classes, since we don't have policy for the university, I let my students use it. I cannot come up with my own rules. We have to somehow discuss these things and come up with a policy as far as the students are concerned. From your expertise or anybody here, ethics and actual regulations of journals. Can you expand on this? It's very important. I cannot just ignore it.
Yeah, I know, but this in 1 hour we cannot cover this topic. That's why I said it.
2 minutes is okay.
All right. So the first one is like which software as a student should use it. So my recommendation out of those 5 we discussed, there are hundreds of these available. If you use SciSpace and Jenni together, you will be very good to go on it. Okay. The ethical aspect is, again, it's the technology is there, everything is there, but if you rely too much, it's there for the assistance. We have to use it. There is no way we just can ignore it. For example, there are some examples in history when the paper developed. Okay, some people said that the paper is not good and this and that, and they do not use the paper for 200 years of certain communities. And those communities lag behind in research and science. Okay, so if you don't adopt it, if you say, okay, oh, I don't want to use it, so we have to adopt it. And as you said, there should be some ruling, some guidelines to provide. My guideline is simple, as I give you the example of the gym. use it, but still use your brain muscles. If you completely blind on it and you do this thing, as the AI is generating, the anti-AI is equally smart enough. In early 2023, when the AI will become very publicly available, immediately the Turnitin and introduce the catching softwares as well. So you cannot get away with this. The policies are, yeah, some universities, there are certain policies, they allow you to that percentage of it to go, and some universities, they do not like us. But at your end, ethically, no legally, ethically, you should use it to just to assist yourself, not really all your report is this, and when the supervisor asks you, what does this paragraph means? And then you suddenly, oh, I don't know, and then you disown it. Like, oh, yeah, the software write it, or no, don't do this thing. Get it help, read it by yourself, modify it by yourself, learn out of it. If you don't use it now, because this technology, whatever we are using in 2024, maybe in 2028, it will transform altogether. And it's too late to catch up these things. So in your age, I discussed some of my friends, they said they are working in Aramco, and they said the kind of a job we are doing, it will not exist after 5 years at all, because the AI is doing many things for them. So this is a quick review. I told you about this, these softwares. At the end, the university wants to have some quick feedback. So if you scan this, these files are available over there. If you scan this and fill it quickly, and I'm very thankful for everyone to come over here. Usually we have workshops with 0 people. It's huge number of people.
Thank you very much. It's really interesting. And I think workshops are supposed to be like this.
Yes, it is a workshop. So just to keep it everything in time domain, so we skip out some of the topics, as I said earlier on. But if you need any more information about how to use it further, we can, you know, my office, you can access me, and many other people over here, they are using these softwares as well. You can discuss with them. All right, thank you very much. Okay.
I think I had a comment that this is what we call in Arabic text وختامه مسك. The end of it is the end of the week. This is like the desert. So thank you.
All right, so desert is here as well. Make sure that you have it before leaving the. Okay, thank you very much.